Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deidre Anderson, and if you're new here, I'm an adult contemporary romance author. And this is the third part in Tropey Wednesdays. Now, there wasn't a video last week because my body just was not up to it. And on that note, I'll just do a little brief announcement before I continue. So right now, and previously, my videos have been coming out on Wednesday and Friday. I would do Tropey Wednesdays on Wednesday and Freakishly Techish Fridays on Fridays. Unfortunately, in the situation that I'm in right now, in the state that my body is in, I'm just not able to keep up with two videos a week. So I'm going to limit myself. I'm going to give myself grace, and I'm going to focus on doing one video each week. That will be released on a Wednesday. So we will finish this Tropey Wednesday series, and then when that's done, we'll move on to something else. Of course, you will still see me around the interwebs on different streams that I agree to be on, and I may even do some streams myself when I'm up to it. But for right now, we'll have the one true video on a Wednesday, and then I'll just hop on to other people's streams, or I will stream as my body allows. Okay, so that was the little announcement piece of the video. Now today, as I said, we'll be continuing with our tropes. We've been going 5 tropes each video, and today will be no different. So if you're interested in writing romance, and if you want to figure out what the tropes are that the readers love, this will be the video for you. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you can know when my video drops each and every Wednesday, or if I hop on as a pop-up stream or anything like that, or if I release a little short or a community post, you'll know if you hit that bell. All right, and hit that like button so I can know that you're still supporting my channel, you still enjoy my content. All right, so I'll see you on the flip side. All right, welcome back. So we're not going in alphabetical order anymore because I've realized that I missed some that was up in the A category. So we're just going to give you the tropes as they come to me. All right, I do still have a list here on my tablet, so if you see me looking down, that's why. All right, so the first trope we'll be discussing today is essentially all grown up. All right, now this trope is just as it sounds. All right, it's basically your characters have known each other since childhood. They could be friends, they could be enemies. You can play around with adding some more tropes in here, but essentially they've grown up. Either they grew up together, where they were seeing each other just as neighbors or just as friends or just as the guy down the street all this time, but something happens that makes them see, oh, they're not just that little girl anymore, they're not just that little boy anymore. Sally is all grown up, or Junior is now no longer Junior. Junior's got some muscles, he's got some abs, he's all grown up. All right, or maybe he does something that triggers an emotional response so you to know that, oh, he's matured since he's been a child. So that's the all grown up trope. It can be done from either perspective, whether they've been friends their whole lives, whether they've been enemies, maybe their families are on opposite side of some political battle or some physical war if you're writing fantasy, right? But you've known them since your childhood and now you're seeing them in a different light. So that's all grown up. That's the name of that trope. The next trope we'll be doing is opposites attract, which is essentially, again, as the name suggests, you're on opposite sides of the personality spectrum, right? You believe in that the sky is blue. You've grown up knowing that the sky is blue, and that's all that you know, versus the hero or heroine on the other side that's grown up knowing that the sky is green, and there's nothing that you're going to say to tell them that the sky is green, so that you've grown up with different beliefs. So because you believe the sky is blue, you believe that you should sleep every night. You believe that you should get up fresh in the morning. You're a morning person. You wake up and you're just a ray of sunshine, versus the other person, which is not so much. They hate the mornings. They believe the sky is green and you're trying to convince them the sky is blue. But for some reason, there's just this one thing that keeps pulling you guys together. Because guess what? Opposites attract. It's like the two opposite ends of a magnet that keeps just pulling together, you know? It really shouldn't work, but it does. Because there's just this one thing. Maybe it's a personality trait, maybe it's just a quality that they have that stands out to you. And you don't know why it's attractive to you as a heroine or a hero, but it just does, and you just can't help but gel with them. So that's the opposites attract trope. Now, the next one that we'll be diving into is one that's very popular right now, especially in like the dark romance genres, and that is the anti-hero. Now, a hero is just that, right? You want your reader to connect with your hero. Notice, as I said, connect. That doesn't mean that they have to be a nice person. Doesn't mean that they have to tell the truth all the time. It literally means that there needs to be something that connects the reader to that person. Now, the anti-hero is essentially, it's very similar to the Alphaholes or the Playboy tropes. It's the hero. He lacks qualities that's generally known to him. And I say he, but it can literally be any one of your protagonists. It can be used in any form of romance, whether it's a male-male, male-female, female-female, or reverse harem, or it doesn't matter. Basically, your protagonist has qualities that wouldn't be reminiscent of a hero per se. So they're bad people. They're the bad boy, right? They're not running off to save the world. They're not running off to help the child or the old lady across the street. They're just not that. Their personality is maybe they're very stoic. Maybe they're in the mafia. Maybe they're basically morally incorrect as society would have it. But they're your hero. And so the trick to writing that is convincing not only your protagonist, but also your readers to fall in love with that person, because you need them to care about them. So what is it about that person that even though they don't have the heroic traits, they're an anti-hero? Your job as the author or the writer will be to basically convince your readers and convince the cast around them that there are redeeming qualities of this anti-hero, right? Maybe he's an ass to everyone else around him, but when your protagonist, or him or her, but when your other protagonist is in the room or around him, or when they're alone, everything changes. All right, so it makes him personable. There has to be redeeming qualities, even though it's an anti-hero, has to be redeeming qualities. So if you're interested in playing around with someone that may be morally gray, or maybe not very well a good or nice person in society's eyes, then that would be the anti-hero trope, and maybe something you want to look into. All right, so that was number 3. Number 4 that we're moving on to is the Beauty and the Beast. Now, the Beauty and the Beast, we all grew up with the fairy tale Beauty and the Beast, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Now, it doesn't literally mean that you're going to need to do paranormal or fantasy and jump into having a literal beast. Nope, it doesn't have to be that way. Literally, it just means that you'll have one unlikable character, or could be an anti-hero. You could mix the tropes here, right? It just means you have one unlikable character, and then you have another character which is more innocent or more likable, that's forced to be confined with the hero, right? Typical Beauty and the Beast. So you're forced to be confined with the hero, whether that's because you're working with him, whether that's because you've been captured by him, whether that's because, hey, you opt to be there, but you are being separated from everything else that you know that's your norm, that's your loved ones, your friends, your normal status quo, right? To be around this person, right? And then you'll see that innocent character interact with the unlikable character's world. And the more they interact with that unlikable character's world, they'll start to basically develop feelings for the unlikable character, because they understand that character more. They see, hey, there's more to this person than what society or the outside world believes, right? So they start to see, maybe it's like with the classical Beauty and the Beast with the library, or, well, if you grew up with the cartoons, then you'll know that, the talking kettle and the talking teapot and the cups and stuff. Well, You don't have to go that far fetched, but maybe you walk in and you see a library and you see that, oh, he's interested in the same books I am. If they're younger, oh, he likes the same video games I like, or he has the same hobbies like I do. Something that connects them that you would not really think that that person would be doing. Is so unlikely that it opens your mind that maybe this person isn't actually the beast that everyone thinks he is. Maybe he has a redeemable quality, or she has a redeemable quality, because it can go either way. It's not necessarily that the male protagonist has to be the beast. The beast can be anyone in your story. Any one of your love interests can be the beast. But as long as you touch on those things, you have an unlikable character, you have an innocent or more likable character, and they're coming together, and you're finding redeemable qualities from this unlikable character that you can root for, or that your protagonist can fall for or connect with. And that's basically the Beauty and the Beast trope in a nutshell. Now, the last trope that we will be discussing is basically the break up with to save him or her. Now, we've all seen it. We've watched the TV shows. We've read the books where either the hero or the heroine is faced in this ridiculous scenario, and they have to make the main they have to make the decision to either leave what they're doing, or break up with the other protagonist in order to keep them alive, even though they love this person. The reason they have to break up with them is because they love them. So, say for example, your hero gets himself in some trouble, right? Or why am I picking on the men today? Say for example, your heroine gets in some trouble, right? And she's being blackmailed, or she's in trouble, right? Massive trouble that she feels like she needs to get done or taken care of herself, right? She believes that the only way forward to not get the hero mixed up in all of this, maybe she's in some legal trouble and she doesn't want the hero to be implicated, right? So the only way to not get him mixed up in all this, or maybe even get killed, is to break up with him, save him, so that she can go do this on her own, because she wouldn't be able to live with herself if something happened to the hero or to the other protagonist. So what does she do? Break up to save him. Now, the redeeming quality in this trope is that, yeah, even though they break up because she believes that's the right thing, or she believes that that's how she'll save the protagonist, the magic in this trope is that the whole of the readers, all the readers that are reading this, will be screaming at the book or screaming at the TV, saying that, no, tell them. Because if she had told them, then maybe they would have been able to help her through it. Or maybe it would have been solved together. But because that character is so used to doing stuff on their own, or really, really would not be able to live with themselves if anything happened to the other one because of them, they feel that breaking up is the best option. So as much as they have deep feelings for that person, by this point you should have already believed the love story, right? You would have already been saying, hey, they belong together, right? But you know that that's a hard decision to make. That's a hard position to be in. So you know that when they break up, everyone else is saying, oh no, and they're feeling it. And you have the readers together because, hey, they're rooting for this couple, but they understand that if she or he doesn't break up with the other one could possibly die, or the other one could be in jail, or something terrible will happen. So this one can be very emotional, can be very gut-wrenching. You just have to, if once done right, this can make for a very impactful trope. But you have to make sure that you've played it up correctly, that you set it up correctly. And then at that point, when it becomes the part for them to break apart, you have to actually sell and believe that the only way for the story to move forward is for one protagonist to break up with the other one for their best interest, or to save that person, All right. So that was the fifth and final trope that we'll be discussing today. Again, we will dive into another 5 next week. All right. So as we continue with Tropey Wednesdays, we will discuss 5 main romance tropes every week. And my list keeps growing, guys. I started out with 57 and now I have 75. So my list keeps growing. So I don't think that we'll be running out anytime soon. I just keep remembering more and more tropes to add. And so I'll be walking through all of them with you. If you have used any of these tropes before, or if maybe you have something to add to these tropes, go ahead and drop them down below and we will start the discussion again in the comments. All right. If there's any trope that you haven't seen yet, don't worry, it's probably coming, but you can feel free to drop it down in the comments just to ensure that I have it on my list. All right, because there are a ton of them, right? And more gets added each and every time something new happens. That's the beauty about writing romance. It's never a dull moment. There's always more coming. All right. So again, that's my video, guys. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So you can continue to follow along my journey, continue to follow along this channel. Hit that notification bell so you can know each and every time I upload, and hit that like button so I can know that you like the content I'm putting out and that I'm on the right track. Again, just to remind you, there will no longer be any Freakishly Techish Fridays videos right now, as I just honestly can't keep up with it. My body just will not allow me to do so. All right, but I will see you again next Wednesday, or maybe even before that if I hop on any other streams. All right, so until next time, be kind, be safe. Bye, guys.